So students, in the previous video we have discussed about the female reproductive unit of a flower, that is pistil, and we have discussed in detail about each part of the pistil, and we have also studied in detail about the structure of megasporangium or the structure of ovule. We know that the structure of ovule or megasporangium has various parts. They are funicle, hilum, integuments, that is outer and inner integument, and within the integuments there are certain cells or tissues which are filled with reserve food material, and they are called nucellus. And as I mentioned earlier, the integuments do not cover the ovule completely. A small pore or gap is left behind, known as micropyle. So today in our class we are going to discuss about the nucellus cells, how the nucellus cell will develop into a megaspore as well as the megaspore that develops into embryo sac. So this event mainly takes place inside the megasporangium or ovule, and this process where a megaspore is formed is known as megasporogenesis. So in megasporogenesis, you know that there are two terms, megaspore as well as genesis. The term genesis refers to the process of formation. So megasporogenesis is the process of formation of megaspores. In the previous classes we have studied that the similar kind of event also takes place in male reproductive unit, that is microsporogenesis. So this megasporogenesis is the process that takes place inside the female reproductive unit. So don't get confused with microsporogenesis as well as megasporogenesis. So coming to the definition of megasporogenesis. Megasporogenesis is the process of formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell through the type of cell division known as meiosis. So megasporogenesis is a process of formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell. So this megaspore mother cell can be abbreviated as MMC. So this megaspore mother cell has the ploidy condition of diploid. So this diploid megaspore mother cell undergoes a type of cell division known as meiosis. So what type of cell division is meiosis? Meiosis is a reductional division. So megaspore mother cell, which is diploid, undergoes meiosis to form megaspores. So how many megaspores can be formed at the end of the diploid or at the end of meiotic division? You know that the megaspore mother cell is diploid. Whenever the diploid cell undergoes meiosis, resultant cells will be haploid, and the resultant cells, since it is haploid, 4 megaspores will be formed. So all these megaspores, the 4 megaspores that are formed during megasporogenesis, do not develop into embryo sac. So only among the 4 megaspores, 3 of the megaspores will degenerate. 3 of the megaspores degenerate, whereas remaining 1 megaspore develops into a female gametophyte known as embryo sac. So you have to remember this point very clearly, that among the 4 megaspores that are formed, we can also call these 4 megaspores as megaspore tetrad. What do you mean by the term tetra? Tetra indicates 4. So among the megaspore tetrads, 3 of the megaspores degenerate and only 1 megaspore remains functional. Now let us discuss about megasporogenesis with the help of a chart. So megasporogenesis is a process of formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell. We'll study how this megaspore mother cell is formed and how megasporogenesis takes place with the help of the chart. As we have studied the structure of megasporangium or ovule, you know that the megasporangium or ovule has got 2 poles poles or two ends. One of the end towards the micropyle is known as micropylar pole or micropylar end, and the end opposite to micropylar pole is known as chalazal end or chalazal pole. So within the ovule there are tissues known as nucellus, and this nucellus tissue is filled with reserve food material. So one of the cell towards the micropylar end, is called archisporial cell. So this archisporial cell further undergoes division to form two cells. They are a parietal cell and a sporogenous cell. Among these two cells, the sporogenous cell then develops into megaspore mother cell. As I told, towards the micropylar end, there is a cell known as archisporial cell. Archisporial cell is a cell of nucellus. So this archisporial cell undergoes cell division to form two cells. They are parietal cell and a sporogenous cell. The sporogenous cell then develops into a megaspore mother cell. So this megaspore mother cell is a large cell that is densely filled with cytoplasm and has got a prominent nucleus. And the ploidy of megaspore mother cell is diploid. So megaspore mother cell is diploid, densely filled with cytoplasm and has got prominent nucleus. So this megaspore mother cell then undergoes division to form two cells, and these two cells further undergoes division to form four cells. So what type of division takes place here? The megaspore mother cell undergoes meiotic division that we have already discussed in the definition of megasporogenesis. Megasporogenesis definition says that megasporogenesis is the process of formation of megaspores or megaspore tetrad from megaspore mother cell through meiosis. You have to remember this cell division, that is through meiosis. So megaspore mother cell undergoes meiotic division to form four megaspores, and altogether we call this four megaspores as megaspore tetrad. As I mentioned earlier, among the megaspore tetrads, three of the megaspores degenerate. You can clearly observe here, three of the megaspores have been degenerated and only one of the megaspore will remain functional. Okay, so the single functional megaspore then undergoes a type of development known as monosporic development to form a female gametophyte, that is embryo sac. Let us discuss how this single functional megaspore undergoes development to form an embryo sac. So this process of development of a single functional megaspore to a 7-celled 8-nucleated embryo sac structure is known as monosporic development. So during monosporic development, the single functional megaspore has got a single nucleus. So this nucleus undergoes division to form two nuclei. Remember that here in this type of cell division or in this type of division, there is only nuclear division and there is no cytokinesis taking place. So in monosporic development, the nucleus of a single functional megaspore undergoes nuclear division to form two nuclei. The two nuclei again undergoes successive nuclear division to form four nuclei, and the four nuclei again undergoes nuclear division to form 8 nuclei. If you observe this chart or this particular diagram, you can observe that there are 4 nuclei towards each pole. So how many nuclear divisions takes place here? 3 successive nuclear division takes place, where one of the nucleus undergoes division to form 2 nuclei. The 2 nuclei again undergoes division to form 4 nuclei, and the 4 nuclei again undergoes nuclear division to form 8 nuclei. So once the 8 nuclei are formed inside this embryo sac, one of the nuclei from each pole. One of the nuclei from each pole. So this is the micropylar pole. This is the chalazal pole. So one of the nuclei from each pole moves towards the center. You can observe this in this diagram. One of the nuclei from each pole move towards the center and form the polar nuclei. Now let us see what happens to those nuclei that are remaining in the polar end. You know that as each of the nuclei moves towards the center of the embryo sac, only 3 nuclei will remain in the polar end. So once the nuclei move towards the center, the remaining 3 nuclei then is covered by cell wall as well as cytoplasm. So each nuclei accumulates some amount of cytoplasm and cell wall is laid around each of the nuclei. So thus 3 cells are formed at each pole. So those 3 cells that are formed towards the micropylar end together represent egg apparatus, and those 3 cells that are formed towards the chalazal end forms antipodals. So how many cells are present here in the embryo sac? You can see here this is the structure of embryo sac. Embryo sac is a female gametophyte of an angiosperm, and each embryo sac has got around 7 cells but 8 nuclei. So there are 3 cells found towards the micropylar end. Together we represent them as egg apparatus. Among the egg apparatus, the 2 cells form synergids and 1 more cell form the female gamete. The female gamete is egg cell. And towards the opposite pole, there are 3 cells. They are antipodals. And at the center, this central large cell, the large cell found at the center is known as central cell. Central cell will be having 2 polar nuclei. Sometimes this polar nuclei fuse together to form secondary nucleus. So you have to remember the structure of an embryo sac, that is a female gametophyte, and this diagram is very important from exam point of view, usually asked for 5 marks. And this development of one functional megaspore to an mature embryo sac is known as monosporic development that takes place by successive nuclear divisions. So now let us see how to do the diagram of the embryo sac and how to label those parts. And this is a diagram that clearly shows that this embryo sac development takes place inside the megasporangium or inside the ovule, and how the cells are present and what is the position of embryo sac. Embryo sac is usually found towards the micropylar end. Now let us study about the diagrammatic representation of a mature embryo sac. You have to remember that embryo sac is a female gametophyte of an angiosperm, and we have already discussed that how an embryo sac will be developed from a single functional megaspore. And what do we call that development as? Monosporic development. So single functional megaspore develops into a mature embryo sac, and this process is known as monosporic development. So in the structure of a mature embryo sac, you can observe that there are 7 new cells and there are 8 nuclei. So there are 7 cells. 3 of the cells are found towards chalazal end and 3 of the cells are found towards micropylar end. At the center, there is a large single central cell which has got 2 nuclei. So because of this particular distribution of cells as well as nuclei, we consider this embryo sac as 7-celled and 8 nucleated. So let us study the description of an embryo sac. The embryo sac has 2 ends, that is chalazal end as well as micropylar end. Towards the chalazal end, there are 3 cells known as antipodals. Opposite to the chalazal end is the micropylar end, and in the micropylar end there are 3 cells that are clubbed together to form egg apparatus. So in each egg apparatus there are 3 cells. Among them, 2 of the cells that are found at the base of the micropylar end are called synergids, and there is one more cell that in the egg apparatus, and that is known as egg cell. Here egg cell is a female gamete that is formed inside a female gametophyte. At the center there is a large cell known as central cell, and central cell has got 2 nuclei. You know that these 2 nuclei has been moved from the polar ends. In the monosporic development we have discussed that one of the nuclei from each end moves towards the center, and that forms the polar nuclei. Now observe this egg apparatus. In egg apparatus there are 3 cells. One of the cell is known as egg cell, that is a female gamete, and there are other 2 cells at the base known as synergids. And if you observe the cells of synergids, there are certain structures found at the base, that is cellular thickenings. So at the base of towards the micropylar end, the synergid cells have got certain cellular thickenings, and these cellular thickenings are called filiform apparatus. And this filiform apparatus has got a specific function to perform. The function of filiform apparatus is to guide the pollen tube through the synergids and then release the pollen grains into the embryo cell. So remember the function of filiform apparatus. Filiform apparatus mainly guides the pollen tube to enter through this synergids and release the pollen grain, male gametes into the embryo sac. Once the male gametes are released into the embryo sac, then they undergo fusion to form double fertilization. So practice this diagram, and this diagram is very important. So usually asked for 5 marks. Sometimes explanation of the diagram can be asked. Sometimes only diagrammatic representation can be asked for 5 marks. So do remember that the labeling has to be done towards one side of the diagram, and always labeling should be in capitals. So minimum for 5 marks, at least you should remember the labelings, around 8 to 10 labelings. So you can see here there are around 8 to 10 labelings. So practice this diagram. This is very important diagram, and this is the structure of a mature embryo sac, which is a female